Grammy Award-winning singer Anita Baker is fighting back after finding out that a judge issued a warrant for her arrest.
Just now, at 66, Anita Baker has blown the lid off the whispers that have followed her for decades. After a roller coaster life of twists and canceled plans, the queen of R&B, famed for sweet love, is laying bare the secrets we've all guessed at. What she's shared has jolted her fans, revealing the silent battles she's fought far from the spotlight. What pushed her to drop this bombshell now, after all these years? Tune in. Let's uncover the real story behind Anita Baker's dramatic confession. Anita Baker's road to stardom. In the midst of a journey, control was completely lost. Upon entering a room, the return to the road was unexpected, unplanned, and yet inevitable. Plans to head to Los Angeles for recording sessions had consistently fallen through. Amidst these recurring setbacks, Anita Baker, renowned for her hit Sweet Love and her significant influence in the R&B genre, chose to break her silence. This decision confirmed rumors that had swirled around her personal life for years. Numerous peaks marked Baker's career, yet it was not without its valleys and unexpected detours. The revelation she shared not only caught her audience off guard, but also cast a new light on the personal battles she had been silently waging. This narrative delves into the intricacies of those rumors, explores the struggles she endured away from the public eye, and uncovers the pivotal moment that altered her trajectory permanently. As she stood at the precipice of change, clutching the microphone like a lifeline, Anita Baker's voice trembled, not with uncertainty, but with resolve. But first, let's go back to where it all began. Anita's story starts in Toledo, Ohio. She was born around 1957 or 1958. There's some debate about the exact date, with some saying it's January 26th, and others claiming December 20th. Right from the beginning, her life was filled with both challenges and surprises. At only 2 years old, Anita faced a huge loss when her teenage mother left her. This abandonment had a lasting effect on her emotional health. Thankfully, she was adopted by Lois Landry, who might have been a family friend or a relative of her birth mother. Lois gave Anita a stable home in the vibrant musical environment of Detroit. In Detroit, Anita grew up surrounded by music. She joined a church choir, where she discovered her powerful voice and developed a deep love for gospel music. Inspired by gospel great Mahalia Jackson, Anita began to shape her own unique musical style. However, life threw more challenges her way. When she was 13, her adoptive mother, Lois, passed away. Around this time, one of her adoptive siblings told Anita the truth about her birth mother abandoning her. This news hit her hard and left a lasting emotional scar. But that wasn't even the toughest part. Determined to face her past, Anita eventually met her biological mother. The meeting was emotionally heavy, and Anita later admitted that the rejection made her feel undeserving of love. As a teenager, Anita's love for music only grew stronger. She began exploring different styles of music beyond gospel, experimenting with secular music alongside her friends. By the time she was 16, she was performing in clubs around Detroit, where audiences were captivated by her voice and stage presence. After graduating high school, Anita enrolled in a local community college, but didn't stay long. She left to chase her musical dreams full-time. Anita made a big decision to follow her passion for music full-time, which led her to join Chapter 8, a funk band. The group's bass player had seen her perform at a nightclub and was really impressed. With Chapter 8, Anita got her first taste of success when they released a song called I Just Want to Be Your Girl in 1980. This small success seemed to confirm that Anita made the right choice to focus on her music. But the road ahead wasn't going to be easy. Soon after their hit, the record company, struggling with money issues, dropped the group. To make things worse, the company executives told Anita she didn't have star quality. This was a tough blow for the young singer who had already put so much into her music. Anita's life takes a new turn as she finds her voice in unexpected places. Triumph over industry struggles. After this setback, Anita moved back to Detroit and took on various jobs to support herself. She worked as a waitress for a short time, and then found a more stable job as a receptionist at a law firm. Funny enough, the same voice that the music executives had criticized was the reason she did well as a receptionist. The lawyers at the firm liked how her voice sounded on the phone, but even though the job was steady, her heart was still set on music. Her big break came when a former executive from Arista Records, who had started his own company called Beverly Glen Music, saw something special in Anita that others had missed. He convinced her to give music another shot, offering to match the salary she was making as a receptionist if she moved to Los Angeles to restart her music career. After thinking it over, Anita took the leap. She left her office job behind and headed to Los Angeles, a turning point in her life. In Los Angeles, Anita faced a lot of challenges, but her hard work finally started to pay off. In May 1983, she released her first solo album called The Songstress. The album had 4 singles, including No More Tears, Will You Be Mine, Angel, and You're the Best Thing Yet. Out of these, Angel became a big hit, reaching number 5 on the R&B charts by the end of the year. This success showed that Anita was on her way to making a name for herself in the music industry. But things weren't smooth sailing just yet. She soon faced a frustrating problem with her record label over unpaid royalties from her first album. On top of that, the label delayed the production of her next album, leaving her career in limbo by 1984. These challenges really tested her strength and determination. Anita decided to leave her old music label, but it wasn't an easy choice. In 1985, she faced a lawsuit from Otis Smith, the head of Beverly Glen Music. He claimed that Anita had broken her contract, and the legal battle went on for a while, draining her energy. But in the end, Anita won. The court ruled in her favor, allowing her to sign with other music companies. With this challenge behind her, she joined Elektra Records, part of Warner Music Group, in 1985. This move was important for her career because it gave her more creative freedom. In 1986, Anita released her second album, Rapture. It became a huge success, both in sales and with critics, pushing her into the spotlight. One of the most memorable songs from the album was Sweet Love, which played a big role in shaping her music career. By 1987, all her hard work paid off when she won 2 Grammy Awards for Rapture, solidifying her status as a major figure in the music industry. But this wasn't the end of her rise to fame. During the 1990s, Anita continued to thrive. In 1994, she released Rhythm of Love, which included the song Body and Soul. This track brought her back to the top 40 on the pop charts, a position she hadn't reached since 1989. Then, in 1996, she switched to Atlantic Records, another company under the same music group. After finishing her tour for Rhythm of Love, Anita decided to take a break from music to spend more time with her family. New challenges await Anita as she tries to make a comeback. Navigating life's highs and lows with Anita Baker. However, stepping away from the music scene wasn't the end of her challenges. When she returned in 2000, things didn't go smoothly. In May 2001, Anita had to file a lawsuit against Zoma Recording and its Dream Hire division, blaming a faulty 24-track tape machine for ruining her recordings. This was just one of many hurdles she faced during her comeback. By 2004, Anita had signed with Blue Note Records and was performing live again. In September of that same year, she released her album, My Everything. The next year, she put out Christmas Fantasy, which earned her a Grammy nomination for the song Christmas Time Is Here. Anita stayed active in the years that followed, and in 2007, she began a 2-year tour called An Evening with Anita Baker. This tour was a celebration of her long career, giving her a chance to reconnect with her fans. She also made several appearances singing the national anthem at various sports events, proving once again that her voice was still powerful and loved by many. But even though her professional life was full of success, her personal life also saw some important moments. In 2007, at the Grammy Awards, Mary J. Blige shared how Anita had inspired her throughout her career. Anita, in turn, expressed her joy in seeing Mary carry on her musical legacy, showing the deep impact she had on other artists. Yet, amidst all this, Anita also found joy in her personal life. One of the biggest moments came when she married Walter Bridgeforth Jr. on December 24, 1988. Their wedding, held at their home in Detroit, marked the beginning of a new chapter for Anita, filled with both personal happiness and continued professional growth. Anita went through many tough times in her marriage. About a year after she married Walter, she went through a heartbreaking miscarriage, which deeply affected her emotionally. Even with this difficult experience, Anita and Walter stayed together and later had 2 sons, Walter in January of 1993 and Edward in May of 1994. However, as time went on, the stress of daily life and her work started to put a strain on their marriage. By 2005, Anita and Walter decided to separate, and they finalized their divorce 2 years later. After the divorce, Anita made a big decision. She went back to using her maiden name, Anita Baker. This name change was more than just a simple choice. It was a way for her to start fresh and reconnect with who she truly was. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life, where she moved away from the struggles of the past and started focusing on her independence. But this wasn't the hardest part of her journey. After the divorce, Anita's ideas about love and relationships changed a lot. In an interview in 2012, she talked about how she no longer followed traditional dating rules. Instead of feeling pressured to fit into those old expectations, she let relationships grow naturally. For Anita, it became more important to create real, meaningful connections than to find a perfect partner. In later conversations, Anita explained that her views on love had continued to evolve. She said that while finding love could still be difficult, her past experiences had taught her to value honesty and clarity in relationships. She also talked about the importance of mutual respect and shared values when it comes to building a strong partnership. As she got older, Anita realized she had a much clearer sense of what really mattered to her in a relationship, and she wasn't willing to settle for anything less. Anita faces personal and professional trials, revealing her true strength. The healing power of song. Looking back on her journey, Anita spoke about how much music helped her after her divorce. Singing became her way of dealing with all the emotional ups and downs in her life. Through her music, she found strength and comfort, and it reminded her of how powerful real human connections can be. Her story shows how resilient she is, and how important it is to stay true to yourself, especially when it comes to building honest and respectful relationships. For Anita, music wasn't just a career. It was her place of comfort and safety. It gave her peace and helped her heal. Through her songs, she found a way to step away from her worries and feel calm. In one of her deeply emotional songs, she expressed her feelings with these lyrics. "Sometimes I reach out, I can feel the fear. My quest for peace leads me here, far from my tears." Music wasn't just something she enjoyed, it was something she needed, especially during tough times. It became a way for her to share her deepest emotions and turn her personal struggles into something meaningful for others to connect with. In May 2023, fans packed the Prudential Center, excited for a night of amazing performances by 2 famous artists, Babyface and Anita. But the night didn't go as planned. Technical problems delayed the start of the show, and when things were finally fixed, the organizers decided to cancel Babyface's performance so Anita could perform her full set. Babyface, ever the professional, took to social media to apologize to his fans for not being able to perform. While he stayed calm, it didn't stop a storm of backlash from coming Anita's way. Social media soon became filled with angry comments from fans and celebrities, many of them expressing their disappointment. Some people even brought up old stories about Anita being difficult to work with. Comedian Lonnie Love shared how challenging it was to open for Anita 15 years ago and hoped she had changed since then. Well-known actress Jackie Harry and popular singer Stephanie Mills also shared their frustration, adding to the growing wave of criticism. But this wasn't the worst part. Anita, who was no stranger to criticism, didn't stay silent. She took to Twitter to defend herself, calling the backlash harassment from misinformed Babyface fans. She explained that she wasn't the one responsible for Babyface's performance being canceled, pointing out that he was a special guest on her tour, not a co-headliner. However, her responses, which included some sharp words and accusations, didn't sit well with many people. While some fans still supported her, others felt her replies were too harsh and unprofessional. Things took a turn for the worse when Anita suggested that racial bias might be part of the reason for the backlash she was receiving. She hinted that the negative reactions could be influenced by underlying racial tensions, which only made the debate even more heated. Anita said that a white man was trying to ruin her tour, which led to a lot of criticism and split opinions even more. Things got more heated when Anita talked about rumors of disagreements with other artists like Maxwell and Luther Vandross. She made it clear that she never had any issues with Maxwell because they hadn't worked together. She admitted that she and Vandross had some disagreements, but they worked well together on one of the biggest R&B tours. She pointed out that their relationship was built on respect and that the rumors about a feud were false. As Anita faces more challenges, she must confront her critics and herself. The downside of fame. After a show in Houston, things got worse when videos started popping up online of Anita asking fans to stop recording her during her performance. In one clip, she's almost singing while telling someone to move back and stop filming. In another, she calls for security while singing her hit "Giving You the Best That I Got." These moments made some fans think she was unpredictable, adding to the idea that she was out of touch and hard to work with. Even though she was getting a lot of negative feedback, some fans stood by her, praising her dedication and performance skills on social media. But their voices were often drowned out by more criticism. Reports started coming in about fans leaving her concerts early, upset because she was forgetting lyrics and seemed distracted. Things reached a boiling point when Anita took to Twitter to address the rumors directly. She repeated that the criticism wasn't fair and blamed fans and the media for not understanding the pressures she was under. However, her response didn't help much. Instead of calming things down, it made some people think she wasn't willing to take responsibility for her actions. This only made the critics more sure that she was difficult to work with and wasn't open to hearing feedback. But this wasn't the only challenge Anita was facing. She was also caught in a legal battle with Elektra Records over the rights to her master recordings. Legally, she was supposed to get those rights back after her contract ended, but things didn't go smoothly. The disagreement with her label got heated. In a bold move, Anita asked her fans to stop buying or streaming her music until the rights to her masters were returned to her. This showed how determined she was to fight for her rights and how she wasn't afraid to ask her fans for support in this struggle with the record company. Anita was determined to get back what she deserved, and she trusted that her fans would support her along the way. By September of 2021, Anita happily announced that her legal fight was finally over, and she had won back the rights to her music. This victory showed just how strong and committed she was in an industry that's often unfair to artists trying to own their creations. Her success highlighted her perseverance and dedication to her craft. After this win, Anita stayed in the spotlight, not just because of her music, but also because of her public appearances. In 2022, she wowed the crowd by singing the Star-Spangled Banner at the NFC Championship game, proving her powerful vocal skills and cementing her place as one of America's top singers. Her career continued to thrive, and in 2023, Rolling Stone added her to their list of the top 200 singers of all time. This was another big achievement that confirmed her incredible talent and lasting influence in the music world. But things took a turn in 2024, leaving many fans disappointed. The biggest letdown came in May during a highly anticipated Mother's Day concert in Atlanta. Fans, dressed up and excited, filled the State Farm Arena, eager to enjoy an evening of Anita's smooth R&B. However, Just moments before the concert was set to begin, it was suddenly canceled without any clear explanation. This left fans frustrated and confused, with many taking to social media to express their disappointment and demand answers. Unfortunately, this wasn't the first time Anita had canceled a show. It was becoming a concerning pattern for her loyal followers. Earlier in the year, a February show in Birmingham was canceled, and a Nashville concert was first postponed and then canceled later. This string of cancellations started to raise doubts about whether Anita could be counted on for future performances, leaving fans wondering what was going on. What do you think could be the reasons behind these cancellations? Are artists obligated to ensure consistency in performances for their fans? Don't forget to like, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more discussions like this.